Welcome back to Petverse, the place where curiosity meets the incredible world of animals that share our lives. I'm your host, Petverse Voyager, and today we're diving into a fascinating question that many pet owners have wondered about at least once: do pets recognize themselves in mirrors? Imagine placing a mirror in front of your dog or cat for the first time. Some animals bark at it, some try to play with the other animal they see, while others simply stare for a moment and then walk away as if nothing happened. These reactions can be amusing, confusing, and sometimes even a little mysterious. But behind that simple moment lies a deeper scientific question about self-awareness, perception, and how animals understand the world around them. To explore this idea, scientists often rely on something known as the mirror self-recognition test. This experiment was first developed by psychologist Gordon Gallup in the 1970s to study whether animals could recognize their own reflection. In the test, researchers place a harmless mark on an animal's body in a place they cannot normally see, such as their forehead. Then the animal is given access to a mirror. If the animal notices the mark and tries to touch or investigate it on their own body rather than on the mirror, scientists interpret that behavior as evidence that the animal understands the reflection is actually itself. Humans typically pass this test at around 18 to 24 months of age, when toddlers begin to develop a sense of self-awareness. Interestingly, only a small number of animal species have consistently passed the mirror test. Some great apes, including chimpanzees and orangutans, have shown clear signs of recognizing themselves. Dolphins have also demonstrated behavior suggesting self-recognition, as have elephants and certain birds like magpies. These animals often display curiosity toward the mark on their body after seeing it in the mirror, indicating that they understand the reflection represents themselves rather than another animal. But when it comes to pets like dogs and cats, the story becomes much more complicated. Most dogs, for example, do not appear to recognize themselves in mirrors in the way humans or apes do. Instead, many dogs react to mirrors as if they are seeing another dog, at least initially. They may bark, wag their tail, or attempt to greet the reflection. However, after a short time, many dogs lose interest. One reason for this may be that dogs rely far more on scent than on visual information to identify individuals. To a dog, the world is primarily understood through smell. A reflection in a mirror has no scent, which may make it less meaningful or even confusing. Because of this, some scientists have proposed alternative ways to test canine self-awareness using scent rather than sight. In one experiment sometimes called the smell test of self-recognition, dogs were presented with their own scent alongside modified versions of it. The results suggested that dogs may indeed recognize their own scent and spend more time investigating altered versions of it. This hints that dogs might possess a form of self-recognition, just not one that depends on mirrors. Cats, on the other hand, often respond to mirrors in subtler ways. Some kittens initially react with curiosity or playful behavior, pawing at the reflection or trying to investigate behind the mirror. Adult cats, however, frequently ignore mirrors altogether after a brief glance. This doesn't necessarily mean they lack awareness. Cats are highly observant animals that rely on a mixture of sight, sound, and smell to interpret their environment. If the reflection does not behave or smell like a real animal, a cat may simply decide that it is irrelevant and move on. In other words, ignoring the mirror might be a sign of intelligence rather than confusion. It's also important to remember that self-awareness exists on a spectrum. The mirror test is just one way of measuring it, and it might not capture every form of awareness animals possess. An animal may understand its own body, emotions, or experiences without necessarily recognizing a visual reflection as itself. Pets clearly demonstrate complex emotional and social intelligence. Dogs can read human facial expressions, respond to voice tones, and even anticipate routines in daily life. Cats show remarkable sensitivity to their surroundings and can form deep bonds with their owners. These abilities suggest that pets possess sophisticated cognitive skills, even if they don't pass the mirror test in the same way humans do. In the end, the mirror question tells us something important about the diversity of intelligence in the animal kingdom. Different species evolved different ways of understanding their world, shaped by the environments and survival strategies that defined their ancestors. For animals like primates and dolphins, vision may play a major role in identity and social interaction, making mirrors a meaningful test. For animals like dogs, whose senses are dominated by smell, a mirror may simply not provide the information they rely on most. So the next time your pet glances at a mirror and seems unimpressed, remember that they might not be confused at all. They may simply be using a completely different system for understanding themselves and their surroundings, one that humans are only beginning to fully appreciate. Here on Petverse, we love exploring these questions because they remind us that the minds of animals are both mysterious and extraordinary. I'm Petverse Voyager, and whether your pet greets its reflection with curiosity or ignores it completely, one thing is certain: the inner worlds of our animal companions are far richer than we once imagined. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the science of self-recognition. And until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the amazing universe of pets.